Fortnite Creative and UEFN are really useful to make whatever you want within reason, but there's just some things that Epic still haven't added that people have been dying to see for years at this point. So why not in this video go over some of those things? You know, speculate a bit. Now of course, a good starting point would be the obvious. Whatever is here on the roadmap, like custom items, will be a big game changer. Right now in Fortnite Creative, we are limited to whatever Epic decides to add to the game, and though there's a huge selection of items and weapons to pick out from, there's just sometimes you just want that one thing that isn't there, or you just want an item that's already exists to just be slightly or wildly different to what it already is. Hopefully when this releases, it should fix that. Of course, to breeze through here, general physics is another great example of being able to finally use the chaos physics in UE in Fortnite to actually do some pretty fun puzzles, or just a ton of destruction, like something you'd see out of Half-Life or Just Cause. Custom UI widgets, which if you don't know what that means, you can change the visual style of the inventory and health bar, which is another cool thing. Test players is going to be really cool for testing multiplayer games without needing teammates. Great for solo creators out there like me. The stack creator is pretty cool. Text chat is another game changer from party royale style games or even anything else. Favorite creator 2, which is coming really soon, hopefully when chapter 6 launches. Favorite creator is going to make it so it's possible to build audiences and have people off the bat in Discovery, and then combine this with the ongoing improvements to personalization in Discover. We'll see how this goes. And there's a ton of other stuff that Epic has announced that in here too, but what about the stuff that Epic hasn't announced? Well, let's get to speculating. And I actually asked a lot of you what you'd want to see in Fortnite Creative, and I got a ton of responses, so let's see what you all said too. Some of you said that you want more galleries and prefabs from chapter 3 and 5 to be added, which would be great because those chapters have a treasure trove of amazing assets. Like there's tons of POIs that could be really useful. I would also love to see all the unique Save the World props in Creative as well. As you know, there's a certain style to, like, you know, I guess, you know, quote unquote OG props that have been really lost to time that a lot of Save the World props have because they were, you know, made back then, which would be cool to be able to use them, and it's not like Epic is really using them, am I right? Another one, a color wheel for Creative 1.0. I don't even know why we don't have that yet. To continue on, more music for the radio device for 1.0 creators. Of course, if you're a UEFN creator, you can just import some, but come on, there's tons of music even from, again, Save the World or original lobby tracks that could really easily go into the radio device. Another one people said was effects on proximity chats, so muffling behind walls or underwater would be cool. If you've seen those games like Lethal Company or Pilgrim, where the game voices have an echo or something, that would be really cool and really atmospheric. More style options for the water device, which is another one. We just got this stick spotter. Why can't we have more? Like, for example, all the colors in the elemental cubes gallery, but for the water device. Another one would be overhauling the prop mover, being able to make a big zone that will move props inside of it, or actually, you know, unlocking the rotation feature that has been existed in the files for years, but Epic still haven't added it for some reason. More things he said was updates to the timer device, allowing to add time to it or give it a HUD widget usability like the tracker has or something like that. Also to add all the non-collaboration weapons and Save the World weapons. Another one, which is one thing I really want, is the ability to save and share inventory items and stats across specified islands, where for example in a large MMORPG, each region would be its own map, and if players unlock something like a sword in one region, they can still use it in all the other islands. Basically multi-island persistence, which would be really useful. Another thing that I would love, and this might be a workaround for island memory costs, something like a swap level device or level device or anything like that in UEFN to be able to swap the current level to a different level. So for example, you can have hundreds of levels all with their own island memory limits inside of them. Of course the project size will need to stay like it's same and account for everybody, but still this would be amazing. To continue, some of the things he said was the ability to amuse vending machines and a last man standing or spawn limit device, being able to just rotate the player's camera sideways, for example like for wall running. Of course a terrain editor for 1.0 would be great, and also more options for the guard device 2 and NPCs being able to use every melee weapon. Another would be the battle bus device, which will make my life a lot easier. Being able to toggle shotgun delay on or off in like the settings or something for double pump fanatics out there. Again, the ability to make custom weapons like with their stats, rarities, names, and styles. And of course, an undo button for 1.0. And also another thing, in a UEFN live session, being able to undo changes done in the session, in the editor. Another one would be a more customizable time of day manager device, like we we have for the Skydome in 1.0, so people can dedicate more time to their families instead of recreating, Skydomes for hours. Being able to make custom vehicles easily too without needing to do tricks with Niagara or something like that, which is another thing that people have wanted since the launch of UEFN. Adding a way to add back in the OG movement animations, and I know it's a pretty small thing, but for people who want to recreate like highly accurate OG, the animations can really put you off on it. And following on animations, just to be able to change the walking, running, sprinting, and interact animations of the player in general would be great. Or being able to directly control the player's character without needing workarounds using something like a chair device. Another one you want is adding back a UEFN Battle Royale mode, like Creative Royale forever in our hearts. Being able to test maps in-game during downtime, and being able to edit whatever Fortnite asset you want, and also server options to improve matchmaking. And of course, not having to wait 5 hours for my island to upload, just for it to get that validation error. Another one would be being able to have multiple clients connected to a session from one PC. Of course, bug fixes galore for all the bugs out Creative 1.0 and UEFN also have. Also being able to use UE5 plugins in UEFN would be really cool. And I know whatever Tim Sweeney wants UE6 to be is going to be a combination of UE5 and UEFN and Verse. Anyway, speaking of Verse, being able to have full-fledged raycasting, destructor classes, collision boxes being available in Blueprint, and being able to detect collision using Verse. Checking for the type of object that the player is currently holding easily without needing again a long and arduous workaround. Again, using Verse dynamically to change the balance of items like their damage or their fire rate, and more control over devices in Verse to be able to change every single parameter of them. And even after that, client-sided Verse doesn't rely on devices to work. And of course, my personal favorite, visual scripting for Verse, finally getting added. What would be cool is easier access to publishing, if Epic can find any workarounds. Of course, better moderation for maps that get into Discover with actual human moderation. For Discover, I want innovative projects to get into the limelight more than just copy and paste it or low effort, mass produced, what have you. Another little thing for Discover that you all wanted, and I also do want, is more categories for unique maps like story games, murder mystery, and so on. And also island trailers with sound. Okay, we're going to the end of the video, but to get into the wild category of speculation, it's creator-made passes support, where you can create your own cosmetics to be earned by playing your maps. Oh, you can play Dreamlands? Here's a sick backbling or something like that. Of course, Epic will need to moderate this to high hell, but it'll be amazing for creators. And since XP is shared and we have literally already our 3 battle passes already, we can just add more, Continuing from this would be making the lobby completely change when you're on a different experience. So the news tab in the top left is now the news tab for your experience. Having a challenge tab change for your experience too. Another one, not just lobbies for maps, but dedicated servers where everything persists and you can play with hundreds if not thousands of players at once. Maybe even the ability to support 16 or mature rated games in Discover would be also really cool. And of course, UEFN being upgraded to the point where it'll transcend the material plane and be lifted to a higher ethereal zone of existence, where true unlimited creativity can thrive and is rewarded. But oh well, until then, we can only hope. So that's about it for this video. If you think I missed anything, I 100% did. Or we got some cool ideas, put them down in the comments below. So yeah, anyways, that's about it. Remember to like, subscribe, use my code in the Fortnite shop, and thank you to all of our members of the channel. And watch all of these videos for more of my stuff. That's about it. I'll see you all around.